everyone, welcome back to Sports Time HQ. I am your host, Fernando, and joining me today is my co-host, Keith. Keith, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Fernando. How are you?
Pretty good. I mean, we're back. It's August. Hall of Fame game already happened, and football's underway, just about.
It is underway, and mock drafts are happening, and the real drafts will be happening in a few weeks. So, yeah, it's coming thick and fast, and I can't wait.
Yeah, we did a couple shows in July, and it was a bunch of mock drafts. That was a whole bunch of fun. But this month, just before the season starts, there's going to be a bunch of injuries. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen. So I figured we could do the breakouts in this show. Get some breakouts in, get to see some injuries, of course, already. One thing's first today, Browns kick returner Jakeem Grant. I mean, he's feared to have torn his Achilles at practice today, which most likely will come out as a torn Achilles. But fantasy-wise, I think he's been irrelevant for many years now.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, if that's the way you want to score points, fine, go for it. But you won't do it often.
Yeah, if kick return is an option for you, I mean, then go for it, But clearly not this season for him. Let's see. Some other ones is Bears. I don't know if you've seen some Bears news, but Bears have just been a complete disaster at wide receiver. The Bears, N'Keal Harry, my boy N'Keal Harry, finally got traded for the Patriots. They said, nah, we don't want a 2023 seventh. Give us a 2024 seventh. So, yeah, they basically gave him away for peanuts. And then next thing you know, a couple weeks later, he gets a high ankle sprain. So he will be out for – he's basically week to week, most likely going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. That's my prediction on that. So, I mean, did the Patriots do the right thing? No. During the draft day, did they get rid of him correctly? I mean, I feel like he could have got more value earlier in the past couple of seasons, but, finally got rid of him. We got Tyquan Thornton. We can get him going. But he got injured. So N'Keal Harry got injured for the Browns. And then, not to mention, they signed Byron Pringle, and he also got injured. But his injury, I do not think is overly concerning. Of course, whether or not he's fantasy relevant, I don't know. I'm going to be completely honest. I would only have Darnell Mooney as my wide receiver option in the Browns if I draft a Browns wide receiver.
Yeah, the Bears have the worst wide receiver room. Let's be honest. So I wouldn't be too high on anything other than Mooney.
Yeah, 100%. Today, the Packers, they hosted running back Kalen Ballage for a tryout today. Are you concerned about Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon?
No, I wouldn't be. I think this is probably a backup for Hill, who was injured last year. Maybe, get some kick returns and stuff like that. But I don't really know what's going on there. But I wouldn't be worried if you're going after Dillon or Jones in your drafts.
Yeah, if anything, it's just more for depth in position. I mean, we've seen Aaron Jones go down in the past, and, it's just safety precautions. And we've seen Kalen Ballage play.
He's fine, but come on. He shouldn't be getting in ahead of Jones or A.J. Dillon, let's be honest.
Yeah, completely honest. I mean, we don't see him going anywhere. Running backs, we're going to keep going on the running backs. Jaguars running back, my boy James Robinson, tore his Achilles last season.
Is everybody your boy, by the way?
Huh?
Is everybody your boy? Anyone that comes up, my boy.
Yeah,
you have a big list of them?
Yeah, I have actually a big list. I'm actually basically the whole every single person is basically my boy unless they don't do good. They're not a good player,
Yeah, they screw you over in fantasy or something.
Yeah. N'Keal Harry, question mark? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But James Robinson, I really liked him a couple years ago. And he broke out immediately. And then next thing you know, Jaguars decided to draft Travis Etienne. And then both of them got injured. And so now they're both back. And James Robinson was taking first team reps today. So it's are you buying into anything with James Robinson? Because I know I'm not. As much as I really like him, and I think he really lost his chance because the Jaguars really never gave him a chance in the first place. I just don't see him really going anywhere with the running backs. You could snag him late, though, in fantasy drafts. And honestly, if he does look good, I mean, I don't mind taking a chance. But right now, I would rather keep him on the waiver wires.
I mean, he's fine if you're going to snag him at something like RB40 or something, way down the list.
Yeah.
But is he going to be, I know he's out there, but Chris Godwin was out there for the Bucs, and they're still saying he's not going to be there week one. Is James Robinson going to be there week one? I'm not too sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's kind of like an unfortunate situation for him getting the injury. Travis Etienne is there, so he's not a guy I'd be going after, anyways.
No, I liked him, and I still like him. It was just an unfortunate injury, and we know running backs are hard to come back from torn Achilles.
Yeah.
Um, and then the Jets going to an offensive tackle, which we don't really do that often, Mekhi Becton. He suffered an avulsion fracture of the right kneecap, and that pretty much means he's likely out for the 2022 season, which is an unfortunate for the Jets because the Jets really just needed everything to go their way, and they had pretty much a lot of things going their way. I mean, draft-wise, they have a good offense from the looks of it on paper, and they have a good chance to do some damage to the records, to their previous records anyways. But again, Mekhi Becton, he's a great offensive tackle, but with his injury, it's going to hurt the offensive line for sure.
Yeah, it's a big one for Zach Wilson and probably Brees Hall coming in too.
Mm-hmm.
That does some damage there. So Zach Wilson want to be good this year.
Yeah, for sure. And then a couple more things for news and notes around this league is former NFL running back Marshawn Lynch. He was arrested today in Las Vegas. Clearly, a lot of things have been happening in Las Vegas, clearly. But anyways, he's facing multiple charges after a DUI arrest. His charges are DUI, driving an unregistered vehicle, charges failure to stay in his lane, failure to surrender proof of security. So what is that for him? We won't know. Does he get jail time? Does he not? We'll have to see, obviously. But, of course, no suspension for him.
Yeah, it's interesting, though. I think it just came out, though, like I think it was yesterday maybe, that he was going to be working with the Seahawks, doing some stuff on the socials maybe later on in the season. Now that probably, this DUI probably affects that. I'm not sure whether he'll be doing that now.
Yeah, it's kind of out the drain right now. Unless, something ends up he comes out not guilty. But come on now. Yeah.
It's just what he gets, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. But we've seen so many things happen in Las Vegas. Henry Ruggs, Alvin Kamara, Marshawn Lynch. Kamara, we still don't know whether or not he's going to face suspension. It's so many things in Las Vegas. I think they should just move.
Yeah, I think Kamara-wise, I think he's going to be all right. I think he'll get this year, and he'll be pushed till next year to suspension. So I've already seen his ADP start on the rise because that's kind of all the talk. So that's the way I'd be feeling him.
Yeah, if you got him when he really tanked, like he tanked, I think, as far as the 4th, 5th round in a couple leagues. And if you got him around there, that's an absolute steal for an RB1 running back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially if you're doing your drafts now or dynasty or anything like that, you've probably got him at a great value.
Oh, easily. I know for redrafts, of course, it's going to be offsetting now, but if he's there around the 3rd, 4th round, I'm willing to go for Zeke and Kamara right there. And I'm down with running backs.
Yeah, you can snag some later on, but yeah, that'd be 2 solid ones at great value.
Yeah, and one non-fantasy news is the Browns. They finally got a new owner. The NFL has officially approved the sale of the Broncos to the Walter Penner Group, which was a record of $4.65 billion. This group is led by the Walmart owner, Rob Walton.
Interesting, I suppose. It's all coming together for them. New owners, new quarterback.
New franchise.
Will they be lifting the trophy at the end of the season? Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a slow start. In my opinion, we saw it with Tom Brady a couple of years ago with Tampa Bay. It was a slow start for him, and then all of a sudden he's Super Bowl champ that year. And I think the Broncos really have a good chance. Of course, Tim Patrick. I think he was your boy. I will admit, I think he was your boy.
Tim Patrick. Yeah, Tim Patrick was solid all last season.
Yeah, and it was just an unfortunate situation for him and his injury. So I guess we'll have to look next season whether or not he'll be there. Which Cortland Sutton, if I'm correct, is coming up to a contract year soon. If not this year, next year, if I'm correct.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah. And then lastly, for news and notes around the league. So as we know, Deshaun Watson, he got suspended. And officially, and a lot of people thought it would be a year, and it ended up only being 6 games. But yet Calvin Ridley gets suspended for a whole season after gambling. But, he got suspended for 6 weeks, and Roger Goodell does not like that. Does not like that at all. and Roger Goodell is explaining the league's decision. He's trying to pursue a 1-year suspension for Watson, which we talked just before the show could actually depend on Will Fuller's status on whether or not he will be a wide receiver for the Browns, because we talked about possibly the Browns signing Will Fuller way back in the beginning of the summer when Watson got traded. He kind of held off and never really had any news. Still free agent. And what will happen with him is I think he only wants to play with Watson. And if he's suspended for a year, I highly doubt Will Fuller will sign with the Browns. If not, maybe the Bears, excuse me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's waited this long. I suppose he was kind of just seeing what the process will be with Watson. And now obviously the NFL are taking a stance where they want this year. So I would imagine he will get suspended for the year, and you won't see Will Fuller with the Browns. And he may go for a year on the Bears, like you said, because they definitely need wide receiver help. Maybe just sign a 1-year deal, and then who knows, they might tag up next year.
And if anything, I mean, if Watson ends up only getting suspended for this season for 6 games, I think Roger Goodell is going to try very hard next season to get him suspended the whole season.
I mean, I think they're making it their business that he's going to be suspended for a season. It just depends when.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard this, but did you hear that the National Massage Convention is going to be taking place in Cleveland?
No. What sort of convention is that?
I don't know, but I heard that the National Massage Convention is going to be in Cleveland. How? You can't make this stuff up. I mean,
are you sure? It sounds like something you might have made up.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. It's going to be taking place in Cleveland, which, what's the odds of that? What? It's going to be taking.
Deshaun Watson be first in line, so.
It's going to be taking place in Cleveland, Ohio, on August 25th to the 27th.
He's probably got that penciled in already.
Yeah, I don't. You guys, if you ever have a chance, take a look at the memes. The memes are incredibly funny. I mean,
what's the odds of that? Come on.
Yeah, I think maybe it's actually Roger Goodell trying to do that to get him suspended.
Who knows?
Got the binoculars out, seeing him walk in the building. Oh, we got him.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, so National Massage Convention is going good for Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. No wonder he signed there. Anyways, it's time for the 2022 breakouts, and let's get started. Keith, I'm going to start with myself, and then we'll get to you, but let's carve into this, and let's start with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is my breakout.
Puns are off again.
Puns are off. All right, let's be honest. This man, he finished as QB 13 last season, which is not bad. It's just above a QB1, QB2, high-end QB2. He's currently being drafted as a QB 15, still in that QB2 range. But here's the thing: it's not like they digressed. They regressed. I think I'm using that word correct. Regressed as for the offense. They have Josh Jacobs. They added Zamir White, which is a great 5-star recruit. Just faced a lot of injuries in college, and he could be an absolute amazing running back. And he could be the next star running back if his injuries don't come back and catch up to him. He could push Josh Jacobs right out the door. And you have Renfro there. You have Darren Waller there. But now you got Devontae Adams. I don't know about you, but it's not like the New England Patriots where they just go out and draft second-round player or first-round bust or get someone off the streets. But let's be honest. I mean, Derek Carr, he's bound to finish as a QB1 this season. The last couple of seasons, he finished just outside the QB1 range, finished basically top 20 in almost his whole career. And last season, the team was ranked 6th in passing yards, 7th in passing attempts. And he threw the most in his career in one season. He threw over 600 pass attempts and 400 completions. First time in his career. And we cannot forget Devontae Adams and Derek Carr. The connection will be back. They were teammates back in Fresno State back in 2013. And it's bound to happen. It's bound to have the connection come back. And we're going to see Derek Carr light up the scoreboard. And I think he's an absolute QB1, and I'm willing to draft him over Trey Lance.
Oh, that's a big call. I mean, I don't mind where he's being drafted. Does he have the upside with Devontae Adams to get in that top 10? Yes, he does. Will he? I'm not too sure. I still want him as a QB2 personally. If I'm, super flex, I don't want him going as my QB1. I'd be worried about my team then if that's the case going forward. But I still think he'll need to, he'll need to have the record passing yards again. He'll need to go all out. Remember, Derek Carr, he's been average up to now. Let's be honest. I know you said he's in time top 20 and all that. That's fine. But, they haven't made that many Super Bowl runs, let's be honest, with Derek Carr. And I'm just not convinced that all of a sudden you bring Devontae Adams in and he turns into, Aaron Rodgers, and he's putting the ball into these tight holes and that Aaron Rodgers used to fit it in and all that stuff. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. Derek Carr needs to be deadly accurate. And if he's not, he'll be made look really, really stupid because Devontae Adams is out there. But I do get it. I don't mind where he's been drafted. I kind of like it. But I still prefer him as a QB2, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, I most likely will draft him as a QB2. I mean, Trey Lance, though, he's being drafted as a very high-end QB2, low-end QB1. And I'm out the door on Trey Lance. Trey Lance, everyone else can have him. You can have him. I don't care who has him, but it won't be me. He will not be on my starting lineup or in my whole entire roster for the 2022 season. Could he become great and be a franchise QB? Sure. I mean, he could very well be, but we've seen Jimmy Garoppolo is still there. Jimmy Garoppolo has not left yet, which is a concern because do they pay Jimmy G still? Like, are they still going to consistently pay Jimmy G just to sit on the bench? I mean, if so, he better just go right to the beach because he might as well end up on the beach with his money that he's going to be getting. So I don't know about Trey Lance. I think a lot of people are way too high on him. I would probably draft Trey Lance really around QB 18. But anyways, we'll continue with Trey Lance in a few moments. But Derek Carr, I love Derek Carr. I think he's going to be a great quarterback. Then again, last season, I was all in on the Raiders. So I'm just more in on the Raiders this season, I guess.
Yeah, you and your Renfro buzz now. It's Carr, Adams, Renfro, Waller.
Exactly.
They're all your boys now. But I suppose you kind of segued in there for me. So it's Trey Lance is my guy. But kind of like what I said with Derek Carr, I don't really want to pick in Trey Lance as my QB1. Mm-hmm. I will want him as kind of like a high upside QB2 because he has that Russian ability. I think he has all the talent to break out, whether he does it in his basically first proper season. This will be his first proper season. Let's be honest. He only played 3 games last season. He started 2, but when he did, he had over 18 fantasy points in them, which was in the, he was in QB 13. I want to say, I think it was QB 13 twice in them games. I mean, the Russian upside for QBs in fantasy football, that's all we look for. You know what I mean? They give you them extra points. They use their legs. Now, the thing is with the 49ers, who do you trust then on the other side, wide receiver wise? Debo, Ayuk, Kill, they're not going to get the same supply as they did for Jimmy G. But if you're drafting Trey Lance, you're not going to be worried about that. And I think he has got all the tools to get inside that top 10 at the end of the year. But I'm just cautious for now, but I think I like the high upside. And I had another honorable mention, I suppose, is Jalen Hurts. If I was getting Hurts and Trey Lance as my QBs 1 and 2 in Superflex, I would be very happy. I mean, they just gave you're not a big on either of these, which is funny since it's my 2, but sure, we never agree, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But Hurts, they just gave him AJ Brown. They had Devontae Smith. They've got Dallas Goedert. They've got Sanders, Gainwell. They have all the talent there. I'd expect Hurts to take a step forward. He'll have the rushing ability as well. So I think these 2 are great candidates to break out.
Yeah, and I mean, he can hurt your team as well if you draft him. Got to keep going with the pun, sorry.
Yeah, you've got no choice. You started, so you have to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So he's been great. I will be honest, Jalen Hurts, he finished as a QB9 last season. He is a solid quarterback or running back, whatever you want to put him as. He loves to rush the ball, and he just got AJ Brown, which is exactly what the Eagles needed to do. They needed to find that really true number 1 receiver. So they got AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and whoever is the wide receiver 3, they can have it because they're all over the place. It's either Jalen Reagor, Quez Watkins. I mean, they're all over the place. So, but the two main people is Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. And it's great. I mean, you got weapons for Jalen Hurts. You're putting everything there for Jalen Hurts to succeed. Whereas the Bears, they're just letting Justin Fields go out the door and go into the garbage bin. But Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. I will be honest. I think he's got potential. Whether or not, though, will he be able to – he's going to be a good fantasy quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But whether or not he's going to be a good NFL quarterback is the question, because I've heard rumors. Will he start after this season if he does not do that great? Fantasy-wise, he could do very, very well. Absolutely very well. He could finish as a QB5, top QB5. But we've seen it in the past where a running back, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, you name it, they can do so well and then lose their job instantly.
Yeah.
I mean, James Robinson, for instance.
Yeah. I think the big kind of the noticeable thing last year was he wasn't overly great real-life quarterback. But if you looked at his fantasy football numbers, you were like, I don't care. He scored me 20-odd points, 20, 25 points. I'm happy with that. It's whether he can do it for the Philly fans, I suppose, which I think he probably will. He probably will take that step forward. Question for you, though, on Hurts. Where are you kind of comfortable taking him? So you kind of you're outside. So you're saying, Derek Carr's going QB15. Are you going after Derek Carr, or are you going slightly before him if you were kind of taking him? You're outside top 10, I'm guessing, anyway. So
I see it. Here's the thing. Jalen Hurts could. I feel like his range is either a QB3 to all the way down to a QB 15, 16, 17. We can see that easily happen with Jalen Hurts because of his rushing upside. If he doesn't rush and he passes the ball more, will that be more efficient for fantasy football? Maybe, or maybe not. I think, in my opinion, I think he's going to finish as QB 14, 13, 14.
Okay.
But we've seen it in the past. I mean, he could easily just be absolutely.
I mean, where people are drafting him, that'd be an epic fail. You know what I mean? Where he's being drafted right now, way inside, he's probably drafted somewhere between 5 and 7. You know what I mean? QB 5 and 7. So that's going to be an epic fail. But I suppose time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell. And who knows? I could be totally wrong. You could be getting Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance. And if they both start and they both end up doing what you're projecting them to do, I mean, you have two QB1s who could finish top 5. Right now, Jalen Hurts is going as a QB7. So
there you
go. In my opinion, I mean, he could easily QB7 isn't too bad. Honestly, I thought he was getting drafted higher. QB7 isn't too bad, but I think that's way too high for me. I'm not paying that steep of a price for.
Yeah, it's probably his ceiling for you, as in that's where you're getting. Yeah, that's probably what I think a lot of people probably feel that.
Exactly. And Trey Lance, I've already kind of spoken about him. Again, he could be a franchise QB. We just don't know. He could, to me, actually reminds me a lot like Jalen Hurts for fantasy-wise. I mean, he could very well do great, but will he be that quarterback? And, I mean, he's going to be obviously named the starter. I highly doubt Jimmy Garoppolo is going to keep it there. But, I mean, Jimmy G really just took them to almost to the Super Bowl, and then now you get rid of him.
It's kind of – it's NFL, I suppose. One day you have a job, next day you don't. That's it, exactly.
It's business, and I totally understand that. But yeah, so I don't mind your guys, but I also don't. I'm not the biggest fan on them. I would rather take Derek Carr, or
you're not going all out getting these guys in drafts. That's kind of it. If they fall to you where you want to, well, then you get them. There's a good chance they won't.
Exactly. And I'll finish up with my honorable mention as a quarterback is Jacoby Brissett. And a lot of people might be saying, yeah,
I was not expecting you to say that. Go on, continue. I'm interested to hear this.
You were expecting Davis Mills. I understand that. Davis Mills.
I was.
And I can give a 2 times mention of Davis Mills. I've mentioned Davis Mills in so many shows. I love Davis Mills. And I'm going to continue to love Davis Mills. Davis Mills, he's right now being drafted as a QB 29. And Davis Mills is an elite quarterback. Just kidding. That may be an over-exaggerate. I mean, everyone, if I said he was an elite quarterback right now, everyone would go crazy. But he's been working on his mechanics. He's been working on his pass throw chart and fixing up his mistakes. Of course, they lost their wide receiver that they drafted in the second round, John Mechie, which is very unfortunate. And hopefully he gets better and gets past the chemo. But, I mean, I think Davis Mills is a possible franchise quarterback, in my opinion. We saw Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was drafted around the same time Davis Mills was. And look at Jalen Hurts. Again, I'm saying that Jalen Hurts might not even be a starting quarterback after next season, but that's not the point. Right now, it's Nico Collins, Brandon Cooks, Dameon Pierce, who's been impressing at camp for Davis Mills, and I think Davis Mills is going to thrive there. And they just traded, I think, with the Miami Dolphins, Adam Sheehan to the Texans, if I'm correct. 7th round pick or 6th round pick, which, I mean, I don't really care too much. I like Brevin Jordan over Sheehan. But anyways, I do like Davis Mills. So that's my little honorable mention that I'm sure you were waiting for me to say. So I will say that, And my quarterback Jacoby Brissett on my true honorable mention is he's finishing as he's being drafted as a QB 36. And honestly, if you miss out on your top 12 quarterbacks that you really wanted, or you get that one guy and then you wait all the way to the end for a backup, take him. This is also in 1 QB leagues. And you could take Jacoby Brissett. I mean, if Watson, which we know Watson is suspended guaranteed 6 games. Guaranteed. He's missing 6 games. If Brissett can thrive in Cleveland, he'll be a good fantasy starter for 6 weeks. He'll have 6 weeks with the QB2 probably. I'm going to give him a QB2 option right there. I don't see him getting a QB1, but I can see a QB2 for sure. I just think that with all the things that are going on with Roger Goodell trying to push for that 1-year suspension, Jacoby Brissett's going to be the starter. And if he's not the starter all season, I'll be surprised because I honestly think Watson will be suspended. I think once Watson came out with the 6-game suspension in Dynasty and redrafts, whatever you have Watson in, if you traded him away right when that news broke, you probably got a lot of capital, a lot of capital. But right now, with him being questionable of even playing for the whole season now, with Roger Goodell really pushing for that 1-year suspension, people might be cautious about him, especially in redraft leagues or keeper leagues, anyways. But Brissett's not a bad player. I mean, we've seen him. He can scramble, and he's a solid QB2, I think. And I think that's my honorable. I consider him as my honorable mention because if he is being drafted as QB 36 and redraft leagues that are drafted in August, if once they're drafted and he ends up finishing, I'm sure he's going to go higher up in the stock. But see, he gets drafted after August and he's QB 28 or QB 30. If he starts all season, he's going to finish at least in QB 20 range.
Who does he finish over, though? That's the question. Zach Wilson?
Well, he's gonna finish over Davis Mills. Excuse me, not Davis Mills.
I was about to say, are you just hanging out your boy? Did you just hang out Davis Mills to dry over Jacoby Brissett? Come on.
I was thinking of 2 people. Excuse me, my fault. Daniel Jones, that's my guy. He's gonna finish. He's not my guy. That's the guy I think he's gonna finish over. Daniel Jones, I think he's gonna finish over. Jared Goff, I think, has a chance. Jared Goff could be a sleeper, but honestly, I'm just all out. And I don't know. I'm in the middle with Detroit right now. Jimmy Garoppolo, if he does start, right now he's being drafted as QB 31. I mean, I don't know.
Kenny Pickett, unless it's with Seattle or someone else that needs a QB.
Exactly. Kenny Pickett, I think he finishes over Kenny Pickett. Zach Wilson, I think Zach Wilson is going to struggle in New York Jets. I just don't think Zach Wilson is that guy. And I think they started him too soon, and I don't think he's going to thrive. I think he finishes over him. Another player I think possibly is I'm trying to think. Maybe this is tough.
Derek Carr.
No, definitely not Derek Carr. I think he finishes over Justin Fields, to be quite honest. I mean, Justin Fields he has no weapons there. His rushing is there, but he has no weapons.
So you'd rather take Jacoby over Justin?
Oh, 100%. I'll take that.
I mean, I don't really want anyone, unless they're sitting.
Well, I don't want either one, if it's a late sleeper, late pick, late possible breakout, and he starts all season, he's breaking out easily.
I mean, I'll give it to you if it's a deep league, lots of players, and you got to pick them. Yeah, but I'm not taking them. I'll take Derek Carr instead.
You'll take Derek Carr? Well, of course, I would take Derek Carr too. I mean, his full season that he played of 16 games in Indianapolis back in 2017, he finished as a QB 20. QB 20. Just pointing that out.
I mean, he's not the worst, but again, the Browns don't have a lot at the moment.
Yeah, and he's a serviceable quarterback. That's what I'm considering. A serviceable quarterback.
He's fine. Spot starts, maybe. That's where.
Yeah, maybe spot starts too. I mean,
I'm not rushing out the door to get him.
I'm not rushing out the door too, but he could easily be an honorable mention for a breakout, But yeah, that's our quarterbacks. Jacoby Brissett, including my Davis Mills, and Derek Carr. And then you got Trey Lance and Jalen Hurts. And now time to go to the running backs. And I'll start with you, Keith. Who's your top running back?
So first one is Travis Etienne. I suppose we already had a brief conversation.
Terrible. Just kidding.
Yeah, because it's not your boy, because Robinson's your boy. But I know he missed the first
Yeah,
year.
I'm
He
just
had the foot injury, but he looks, what I've seen in camp, I know you can't believe the hype and what you see, but he looks good. He looks like he has a connection again with Lawrence, but like he is a top tier running back. He has that top tier, breakaway speed. He's got the high end pass catching value there, which is great for fantasy football. So even if the Jags are terrible this season, I would expect them playing from behind a lot, him getting a lot of balls in the air, which is great for PPR leagues, which probably most people play. If it's not, it's half PPR, but still, you're gaining them points. We talked about James Robinson. I don't even know if he'll be there week 1. I know he's been out there and all that, but that's a bad injury so late in the season last year to come back from.
Yeah.
I just think Etienne's going to be there. He's going to be the RB1, and he could easily have a great season. I think with just the catching upside there, you know what I mean, and playing from behind the locks team, the Jags are not great. I think he's going to get a lot of points for people, and I think he has a great chance to work out. So that's Etienne. Then we mentioned
100%. And
go ahead. No, you go.
Sorry, we might be very delayed right now.
I think we're delayed.
Whatchamacallit, but yeah, we're definitely delayed. But anyways, I'll talk about Etienne while I'm currently talking and you're taking a sip of water. But yeah, Etienne, I like Etienne. I actually do like Etienne. Unfortunately for Robinson, we already talked about. But Etienne, you just kind of forget about last season for the Jaguars. Just forget about all of them. Trevor Lawrence, he might be there. He might end up being that quarterback. I don't think he is, but he could. He could actually show us wrong, or show me wrong. Anyways, he is supposed to be the number 1 overall quarterback and number 1 QB off the 2020-21 overall pick, number 1 overall pick. So yeah, I kind of just forget the Jaguar season last season. And I like Etienne. I do actually like Etienne. I think he's a great running back. I think the Bills should have taken him instead of the Jaguars. Jaguars should have never taken him. Should have just kept James Robinson, just saying. But yeah, I like Etienne a lot. I actually do like him. And I think he's a good breakout candidate.
Yeah. I mean, I've been trading from in Dynasty all season. A lot of people though on him. I've been saying on previous pods. So I was happy to get a lot of shares on him, and I hope he proves me right. But just to mention, to throw in then, I suppose it's Ken Walker with the Seahawks. I suppose I have to throw my own team in there because we're going to be terrible this season. But it's Rashard Penny's job, let's be honest, probably starting off, but he will lose that job. He will, whether he's just not that good or he gets hurt like he has been the last couple of years. Ken Walker looks explosive from what I've seen in camp already. Everything sounds good. So maybe he might be a guy that, you stash and all of a sudden, kind of halfway through to the end of the season, he just explodes and he's there on the scene. But who knows? He could hit the ground running and he might split time with Rashad Penny straight away. But I think he has a good chance to make a name for himself and break out year 1.
No, that's my answer to it. I actually don't. I just don't think I think Ken Walker could be a good running back. Don't get me wrong. I just think as a rookie, running backs they either break out right away or they take some time to break out, at least a year. And I do actually very much like Ken Walker and his rushing ability. His pass catching ability needs some work because in his college career, we didn't see much pass catching from him. And I think it's actually, and I'll lead into my running back breakout because we're in the same team. I think actually it's going to be Rashad Penny, who I think is going to break out. I think Rashad Penny has a big chance to break out. And we kind of saw him break out last season. I mean, he's being drafted right now as an RB29, where if I'm correct, right now, Ken Walker is being drafted above him. Ken Walker currently drafted, let's see. Actually, Ken Walker actually fell a lot. Ken Walker is actually the RB38, which surprises me because he was in a lot of leagues that I've been in and I've watched in mock drafts. He's going ahead of Rashad Penny. But maybe the hype's finally coming back to Rashad Penny. But you can get him in the 7th round. And if you add up his average 3 games last season that he absolutely broke out and basically won you championships, he would have finished with 2,805 rushing yards and 22 rushing touchdowns. I mean, that is absurd. That's averaged out between all his 3 games. And I think it's right now Rashad Penny's backfield to lose. I think I think that they should have drafted a running back in the later rounds for depth. I think that's what they should have done. I think they're putting too much capital on Ken Walker, and I think they might rush him and kind of try and push Rashad Penny out the door. And I think Rashad Penny stays healthy. I think he should be the running back. I don't think Ken Walker should ever be the starting running back in Seattle unless Rashad Penny gets hurt. I think Rashad Penny will be on a thin leash. If he gets hurt, Ken Walker will go in. If Ken Walker shines, then Rashad Penny's career there is done. But
Yeah.
it's Rashad Penny's.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. Just Penny hasn't proven he can stay healthy. So everybody should be expecting Ken Walker to start at some point. I think that's kind of the thinking. Well, it's definitely my thinking as well. And with the way Seattle are going to play now, it's all going to be run heavy. Run. So he is going to get touches. They're probably going to, a bit like the Patriots, it could be rotate in and out. You don't know who's going to be starting today, the way it is Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, stuff like that, kind of keep them fresh. And that might help Penny not get hurt as much, but also give Ken Walker a lot of opportunity.
I mean, fair enough. And tell me this. Would you take Rashad Penny over Devin Singletary?
Yeah, definitely.
Would you take Rashad Penny over Elijah Mitchell?
I don't know where I stand on Mitchell now. I wouldn't. I take Elijah Mitchell, but I'm still all the reports says he is the so-called number 1 RB there, but they don't really have a number 1 RB in San Fran. But I think from what you've seen last year and kind of the proven points he gets in fantasy, I would take him.
Yeah, Rashad Penny and Clyde Edwards.
I'm hanging on to Clyde Edwards for one more year.
Really?
Oh, purely where you get him in the draft this year. Where
Okay.
he's fallen is kind of sweet enough for me.
That's fair. Those are the people. Those are the people.
It's kind of around the same. It's probably what 5, 6, 7 all around the rounds like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So all those players are actually going ahead of Rashad Penny right now.
Okay. So I mean, it's not a million miles away on some of them.
Yeah. No, it's not a million miles away. I mean, there could be decisions where I could get him for upside or this or stuff like that, but they're all going right ahead of Rashad Penny. And some people going after him is Tony Pollard, Cordell Patterson, Miles Sanders, Kareem Hunt, Chase Edmonds. But my question to you now for Ken Walker, do you take Ken Walker or Melvin Gordon?
I'll aim for upside and I'll go Ken Walker because I still think, I know they're saying that the splits are kind of even there, but I think Javonte will shine out eventually and get more touches. So I would go Ken Walker there.
Walker or Michael Carter?
Oh, I'll take Ken Walker again. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think Breece Hall's going to get the main, and I'd say probably Carter's going to get whatever out of the backfield, catch wise. But like you said, I don't like to rely on too many Jets players. They're not good.
Okay.
Overall.
And I think one more for me is, do you take Ken Walker or James Cook?
I wasn't a big James Cook guy coming out, so Ken Walker. Yeah,
okay.
James Cook was not on my radar for anybody. I hope he does well, but it's kind of a case where they don't really need him. That's how I feel.
So basically, you're a big Ken Walker fan.
I like Ken Walker, and you know what I mean. Where he's probably being drafted is fine.
So season ending, who finishes higher, Ken Walker or Rashad Penny?
Oh, we can have one here if you want. I'll take Ken Walker. You take Rashad Penny. We can decide what that will be.
That's our fantasy bet. That's our fantasy breakout bet.
Let's do that. That'd be good. I mean, where he's going now is perfectly fine. When he was going higher than Rashad Penny, then I'm like, no, I don't want to take him that high. You know what I mean? His price is too rich for me. But where he's going now, I'm fine with that. Near the whatever RV40 range, that's fine.
Okay. I'm going to be intrigued on who finishes.
Yeah, you can make a note of that so we can come back to it.
I'll be sure to make a note of that. Okay, so Rashad Penny, and then I'll go with my honorable mention quickly too is Antonio Gibson. I mean, it's almost whether or not is he a breakout. I'm basing these breakouts as where they're being drafted at their ADP. Tony Gibson, he finished as an RB1 both seasons, or roughly right around RB1. I mean, he finished RB13 in 2020 and RB12 last season. He's being drafted as the RB19 right now, where you can get him in the late third rounds in 10-team leagues. And Carson Wentz is on this team. I'm not a big Carson Wentz guy. And I know Keith knows that. And whoever's watching may also know that. I mean, but the thing is he loves checking down to running backs. We saw it last season with Jonathan Taylor. We saw it back a couple seasons ago with the Eagles and Miles Sanders and his previous running backs, Corey Clement. It's just Jordan Howard, stuff like that. I mean, he likes to check down with the running backs. So I think Carson Wentz is going to give it to Antonio Gibson over J.D. McKissic. J.D. McKissic will still be there, of course. And happy early birthday to J.D. because he turns 29 in 6 days. So it's almost time to retire for running backs. He's going to be 29. We've seen running backs, they fall off after the age of 29, after the age of 28 in their
unless
season
you're Adrian
afterwards.
Peterson.
Exactly. Yeah, unless you're Adrian Peterson. I mean, then you're just never aging. But he's there. And JD he should just sign with the Bills and then give Antonio Gibson all the love. But no, they decided to get J.D. McKissic, which I don't think J.D. McKissic can really hold back Antonio Gibson too much. The only one that scares me is Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson got drafted, I think, in the third round. And I'm kind of confused why they drafted him in the third round because you have Gibson. Gibson's a great, viable running back. And Brian Robinson fumbles the ball a lot. So why? I just don't know what the Washington Commanders, I don't know what these Commanders are doing, but Gibson is the guy. McKissic will be there as well. And he will be a good running back where you could take him to plug and play for McKissic. I think he's a good flex option for sure. And I just don't see the volume there for McKissic and Gibson both. And I think Gibson will continue to keep that RB1 potential. And that's why I'm mentioning that, giving an honorable mention to him. But players drafted around him, Cam Akers. I know a lot of people, they're either really in on him or really out on him.
Yeah, where are you?
I'm completely out on him. And I think we talked about it. He's going way too high for me, and I'm completely out on him.
Yeah, agreed.
Josh Jacobs. He's going right after Antonio Gibson. I'm taking Gibson way earlier than Josh Jacobs for sure. I don't see Josh Jacobs he may be fantasy relevant for sure. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see Gibson not beating Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I'm not out on Jacobs, but I'd rather take Gibson. But the way I've seen it is Josh Jacobs going a bit later, so I kind of like that value a bit more, I suppose. But in terms of talent, yeah, Gibson should be way ahead.
Gibson or Breece Hall? We'll do a quick throw.
Gibson.
Okay, Gibson or ETN? You're an ETN fan, so we'll skip that.
I think ETN, yeah, we'll get more fancy-wise.
Gibson or Mitchell? I'll come back to Elijah Mitchell.
Just the way the San Francisco running backs are, is just, wrecks your head, so I'm going with Gibson.
Okay. Gibson or Cam Akers? We already discussed.
Cam Akers, not a chance.
Yeah.
I want Cam Akers to really prove me wrong, and then I can come back next year, but I just don't see it.
I don't see it either. Gibson or Zeke?
For the value with Zeke.
Okay. Gibson or Montgomery?
Gibson, because I think the Bears are terrible.
Okay, that's the only one that I'd be willing to draft, possibly over Gibson. But if it's my 3-4 turn if it's the 3-4 turn, I'm going Montgomery and Gibson right there. And James Conner and Gibson, last one.
Gibson has got the surefire talent, but I think the actual touchdowns is probably more on Connor's side. So I'd be kind of 50-50 there. Okay. I think I don't want to take both of them. I'd like both of them as an RB2 if I was being picky. And I may go for Connor over Gibson. Yeah,
okay. That's good enough. They're going all around Gibson, and I mean, I like Gibson a lot, and I think he's an honorable mention. I think he can very much break out.
Yeah, just my quick 2 cents about Gibson. I love Gibson and hate the situation. There's nothing wrong with Gibson. He's a great player. It's the way the Commanders used to running backs. And obviously bringing Brian Robinson in, they don't want to have one bell cow. They want to mix it up. So you're probably going to see him in getting snaps, taking them off Gibson. Then I hope you're right, but I think JD is still going to be in there, and it's going to be annoying people as hell when he sees him on the field catching a touchdown and running it in. When we all know Gibson can just catch the ball as good, if not better,
Exactly.
and run it in. That's the annoying part. There's nothing wrong with Gibson. If he was on a different team and allowed to be the bell cow, he would run away with the job and be inside the top 10 every season.
Exactly. And I think if McKissick goes down, I think Gibson is the guy for sure in RB10 easily.
He'll be the guy, and then he'll have Brian Robinson with spells, but he'll definitely get more on the passing game if McKissick goes down.
Exactly. But that's our breakout running backs, ETN and Ken Walker for Keith. We got that little bet going on with Ken Walker and Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny was my breakout, and as well as Antonio Gibson. So let's get into our wide receivers. And I'm going to start with my guy that I've liked since, I think, 2018. I mean, this man has been absolutely insane, and that's Robert Woods. Robert Woods was unfortunate last season. He tore his ACL. But we've seen it with wide receivers. They tear their ACLs, and next year they're perfectly fine. I mean, they come out and they do absolutely phenomenal. He's being drafted right now as the RB. Yeah, he's being drafted as a running back. Wide receiver 39, pick 102. That you can get him in the ninth round right now in 1 QB leagues. I think that's an absolute steal for a wide receiver that most likely will be the wide receiver 1 there.
I love that value.
Exactly, because Treylon Burks, yeah, I think we both don't mind Treylon Burks. You might like him a little bit more than I do, but I just don't see Treylon Burks being as much value as Robert Woods will be in that offense. Yeah, Derrick Henry's there, but we know Derrick Henry's getting up there in age, but we know he's still that elite guy. And who knows? This could be the last year Derrick Henry falls off this year, or maybe this is the last year Derrick Henry does good. I don't know. But if Derrick Henry does not do good, Tannehill's going to have to find something. And it's going to be the passing game. And it's going to be Robert Woods. If you look at his last couple seasons prior, he just about finished around the wide receiver 1. He finished wide receiver 13, wide receiver 14, and wide receiver 11. And I think that if Robert Woods did not tear his ACL and he ended up actually being a viable wide receiver, I think that Cooper Kupp would not be in this situation right now. And I think Robert Woods might actually be better than Cooper Kupp. And that's my hot take. It's
a big call, but I can see it because going back on years of fantasy, I always took Robert Woods over Cooper Kupp.
Exactly. And I think Robert Woods is the better wide receiver. Now, after this ACL, we could be this could all be just flushed down the drain because with the ACL, it's totally different now because Cooper Kupp, he's obviously that elite wide receiver. But yeah, players getting picked around Robert Woods. Tyler Lockett with a QB situation, I don't like that. I'm going Woods. Rashad Bateman, yeah, he's wide receiver 1 there, but it's Lamar Jackson. He's basically a running back, so I'd rather take Woods. Treylon Burks is going right before Robert Woods, and I would rather have Robert Woods with the talent that we've seen in the past than Treylon Burks, even though Treylon Burks is a great college player. Another one right after him, Drake London. No, Robert Woods easily. Brandon Ayuk right after that. I'm going Robert Woods exactly, easily. I mean, I like Brandon Ayuk, but I'd rather have Robert Woods over Brandon Ayuk.
Robert Woods is a guy I think people are going to forget about and probably are forgetting about. And like you said, he is going to be the wide receiver 1 of this team.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a run first offense. We all know that. But
yeah,
Tannehill's got to throw the ball at some stage. We've seen AJ Brown be great when he was healthy. There's no reason why we don't see Robert Woods be great for fantasy football. I mean, he won't be used like he was with the Rams with all the kind of, he's run the jet sweeps and probably running out of the backfield and all that. McFavor's doing all these different tricks for him to get him the ball. I don't think we'll see that, but I still think he's got, all the credentials to be a great pick so late on drafts. And people are probably forgetting about him and probably thinking the injury is going to affect him. Like you said, ACL shouldn't really do much damage to him in this day and age. So for the value you're getting, if he finishes somewhere, if he even finishes 15 or something like that, I would take that as a great. I would be happy because you're probably getting him as your wide receiver 3, if not 4. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And honestly, I would take him as a wide receiver 1. I mean, obviously, I'm drafting him as a wide receiver 3 right now, but I mean, I'm looking at that as him being a wide receiver 1 for this season. I mean, I'm taking him as my 3rd wide receiver, maybe 4, but he's my wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'm a Robert
And
Woods guy too, so I can't even
yeah,
fight you on this one.
and what about all those players that I named? Are you taking any of them over Robert
No.
Woods? No,
Mm,
exactly.
no,
Lockett, Ayuk, Bateman, Burks, London,
I like Bateman, so that'd be one I'd be like that after.
Torn.
Yeah, I'd be torn with. Maybe if it came to me in the draft, I'd be kind of, it would be one or the other, but any of the rest of them, no.
Yeah, 100%. And then my quick honorable mention is Alan Lazard. And the reason why I'd pick Alan Lazard as a possible breakout, and he could even fall in the sleeper category, who's Green Bay's wide receivers? Because Aaron Rodgers does not like Christian Watson. Well, he may like Christian Watson, but let's be honest. Christian Watson, rookie wide receiver, Aaron Rodgers, no, it doesn't work. So I think Alan Lazard is going to be that guy. He's going to have to step it up either way. And boom, you get Robert Woods at the wide receiver 39 right there. It comes back to you in the next round. Boom, take another wide receiver. Guess who it is? Alan Lazard. Wide receiver 46 right now. Only Green Bay wide receiver that will probably be which could probably be your wide receiver 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think it kind of shows you as well, like the depth at wide receiver too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? How late some of these guys are going. I mean, we're all expecting Lazard to be the wide receiver one, right? So he needs to show it. He's getting his opportunity. He's not Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
I think he will. Adams or Rodgers is known to zone in on one, wide receiver. It was Jordy Nelson. It's Devontae Adams. Now kind of be at Lazard, and Lazard needs to prove he's good enough because Rodgers will put the ball right where he wants it. So again, you're talking about wide receiver 4 range outside. It could be another steal late on if this guy ends up being a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, exactly. And who are you? And quick take. Who are you taking between these three guys? Kadarius Toney, Alan Lazard, or Chris Olave?
Ooh, 3 guys I actually like. I like. I will go Lazard because I think he has the upset, but I do like the other 2. I actually like where Tony is going as well.
Yeah.
I'm not, Daniel Jones, whatever, but it's a new offense. Brian Daboll's in there as well, so we should see some things, and we've seen that Tony can do it in probably a small enough sample size last season with the injury. But I'll take Lazard there just ahead of him.
Yeah, those are going all around Alan Lazard.
I like them though. If someone took Lazard, I would no problem take Tony. I don't mind Olave either. Take it. You probably shoot for the upside there as well.
Michael LaFleur, a big Kadarius Toney fan.
Yeah, a lot of people are high on Kadarius Toney this year. They really think, and it's kind of strange because all the talk was he was going to retire and do this, that, and the other, and rap and all really early, in the year. But it's flipped completely now.
Yeah, for sure. So those are my 2 guys, Robert Woods and Alan Lazard. I mean, 2 solid guys that could really be good depth for you and easily be starting potential.
Yeah. So I'll go on mine real quick. So CeeDee Lamb, what the hell is wrong with CeeDee Lamb? He has so much potential, so much ability, and a great quarterback in Dak. But over the last 2 years, he's got 11 receiving touchdowns over the last 2 years.
Wow.
What the hell's going on? I mean, for me, this is kind of his last year that he has to break out, because maybe he'll do it when everybody's not talking about him and drafting him super high. But if he has another year of 5 touchdowns and a mediocre, maybe he gets 1,000 yards, maybe he doesn't, right? I think I'd be out on him because he's just going to hurt you more than he's going to help you. But I really think that this year is his chance to be like Stafford and Cook. I've heard talks that they've been moved lockers together. They're doing everything together. This was what Cook and Stafford were doing. They were having these breakfast together. They were just getting so in sync and being basically best friends and going out and practicing together that it just paid off on the field. And I think if Dak and CD can do this, then we'll see a big improvement with CD, and he'll actually repay where people draft him, in the leagues. So that's where I am. But he's definitely a guy that has to break out for me, or next year, I'd be just no, I'm just not in.
And I do like him. I think, but he's being drafted right now as a wide receiver 7, and I think that's perfect option. I think that's perfect value right there, because You know what? CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill. I'm taking CeeDee over Hill. CeeDee Lamb over AJ Brown. I'm taking AJ Brown. I'm taking CeeDee Lamb, not Brown. No way. Lamb or Allen, that's a little tough for me. That's where it kind of gets a little iffy. Lamb or Mike Evans, I'll take Lamb, in my opinion. Lamb or Higgins, I'm taking Lamb. Lamb or Samuel, I'm taking CeeDee Lamb for upside, and with him being the wide receiver one there and no injuries, really, than Debo. But play a full season last, I'll give him that. But still, I don't know. Stephon Diggs, CD, I'm taking Stephon. Devontae Adams or CeeDee Lamb, taking Devontae. And we know about JJ, Jamar Chase.
All the other guys.
But yeah, the elite three.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there's a lot of guys that would have been on your side there with CD. Maybe Mike Evans is another one for me, just because I know Julio came in, but Tom Brady seems to really zone in on Evans, especially in the red zone. But
which makes no sense. Why are you taking Julio in when you just texted Russell Gage?
Yeah, exactly. You got Gage in, and now we're going to have Julio. But the only thing is, Julio, when we seen him last, he was never on the field because he was hurt all the time. So it could just be that again.
You might as well call it the Tampa Bay Falconeers.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. We're getting Ridley back next year. Might
as well.
Might as well, exactly. But
CD, I love Lamb.
CD's got to do it, but I think he will. He's too talented not to. That's what I think.
Yeah, easily. I mean, I like Lamb, and I think we don't have much to really say more about him because it's either does he break out here? This is the season he's got to really prove that he is that wide receiver one, and he should be drafted in all leagues.
Exactly. And then my mention is Courtland Sutton for the Broncos. So,
woo, yes, sir, Courtland Sutton.
You're big on him. You're big.
I do like Sutton. I will go to court and land on Sutton.
Yes, that's probably the best one yet. Out of all the ones you've done, okay, I'll give you that one. But I think he will be the wide receiver one in this, with Russell Wilson coming in as the quarterback. I think he will focus on Sutton. He's a proven talent. We've seen it before. Tim Patrick being out, I think will only benefit him. I know Jerry Judy's there, KJ Hamler coming back, but Judy hasn't proven much yet. He had all the talent and all the talk and all the hype, and not much has happened. So I think Courtland Sutton is going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy for Russell Wilson. And I think, where's he going, Fernando? You tell me where he's going now.
Yeah, I'll take the Courtland Sutton. He's going 25, wide receiver 25.
I'm all over that.
Yeah, he's going around Marquise Brown. Brandon Cooks, I may take over Courtland Sutton, but that's an iffy one where I'll be questionable. Darnell Mooney, Courtland Sutton. I might go Sutton with the QB reason. Sutton or Cooper, Amari Cooper, I'm taking Sutton. Gabe Davis, Courtland Sutton, I'm taking Sutton.
Yeah.
And Elijah Moore, Michael Thomas, I'm taking Sutton over all those.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still tweaking my my rankings and stuff like that. I definitely have them just around the 20 range, somewhere 18 to 20, which I'm happy. So if he's going to 25, I'm fine with that. I know I can hang around and I'll snag him. There's definitely people I've seen that'll have him somewhere between the 13 and 16 range, which is like fine. I can see it. Probably a bit rich for me and probably nearest ceiling is 13, but I definitely see him somewhere between like the 16 to 20 range in ranking. So if he's going and drafted at the wide receiver 25, I'm fine.
Yeah, Courtland Sutton at the wide receiver 25, I absolutely love. I actually had a friend and also writer for Sports Time HQ, Eric. My friend Eric, he actually likes Jerry Judy over Courtland Sutton, and I explained to him Sutton is the guy. I think Sutton will be the guy. But it's just like everyone else. You're either all in on Judy or all in on Sutton, and obviously we're both in on Sutton easily. Yeah,
the only thing with Judy, he'll probably get great value on him. So if it does turn out that it's Judy, he'll have hit the big time.
And you know what? Wide receiver 34. Which, again, is not too shabby.
It's not too shabby, but you'll probably see guys when it actually comes to draft day, we'll just skip over them, and you'll get them probably maybe, the back end of that.
But are you stacking both? Would you willingly stack both of those wide receivers on your team?
No, I'm not into that. Okay. Doing that. I think that just the ball can only go to one guy, as I say. You know what I mean? So you're just kind of hurting yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And you just have to decide, which one do I want to go with? Oh, Judy's the guy. No, Sutton's actually the guy. So, yeah.
If you don't have an opinion, just go with value. Or whoever's value you probably like better. That's where I go.
Yeah. So, Courtland Sutton, CeeDee Lamb are your two guys. And my two guys is, of course, my Robert Woods and Alan Lazard. Got to go through the woods and find Mr. Robert. That's what everyone needs to do. But anyways, let's go to tight ends. Let's finish it up. Let's go with tight ends. Tight ends. You know what? Let's start with you. Let's give some Christmas presents over and no Cole around town.
You struggle with that one. You struggled.
I did. I struggled.
You couldn't end on a high. Come on. Yeah. But it's Cole Kmet. I mean, we just talked briefly about the Bears earlier. They're not going to be very good. The wide receivers are not going to be very good outside Darnell Mooney. So Cole Kmet's probably going to give them a helping hand, and hopefully he hits the end zone and the red zone a few times. Jimmy Graham is out of there. About time. He was stealing too much of the glory and too much of the touchdowns off Kmet. Kmet has all the talent. I mean, he caught 60 passes last year for 612 yards. It's not great. It's not, he didn't get any touchdowns because Jimmy Graham was there and the offense is bad. But I think this year is going to be a whole lot different because, like we talked about earlier, who else have they got to throw the ball to other than Darnell Mooney?
Exactly.
So Cole Kmet is a talented guy, and I think he will be good this year. I mean, if you're waiting on tight end and going later, you take a stab at him. If you have to, pick another guy up as a backup, or you're just going to go and kind of wing it, let's go, on the waiver wires, just kind of pick another one up week in, week out. If that's the way you want to play, if you're not happy with Cole Kmet, fine. But I think he will be a value later on in drafts.
Yeah, and Cole Kmet's going as a tight end 11, which is actually shocking to me because I'm surprised he's going that high. And I'm willing to take the chance on Cole Kmet at 11 because Cole Kmet, he gave a graham cracker to Jimmy, and now Jimmy's gone. I mean, let's be honest.
There we go. You're ending well now.
There we go. Yeah, so to be honest, Jimmy Graham needed to be gone from the start. But now that Jimmy Graham's gone, it's all bells and whistles for Cole Kmet. And I'm all in on Cole Kmet. He would actually be one of my breakouts if it wasn't for you taking him from me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I do really like Cole Kmet a lot. And I think he's going to thrive there. I think we've seen tight ends take forever to finally get ready and be fantasy relevant. And this is the year that this is Cole Kmet's season.
Yeah, hopefully he can shine. But my mention is actually a guy I think most people probably had to break out last year, which is Irv Smith Jr.
Yes.
I mean, the guy got hurt and that was the end of the season. Now, I don't know what I'm expecting, to be honest, but I know the guy is talented and, he's another option for Kirk Cousins in that offense. Will he take away touchdowns from Justin Jefferson? Quite possibly, because it'd be a big target in that end zone. But he is a talented guy. And I think maybe what everybody was thinking he was going to be last year could be this year.
Yeah. And I mean, I was in on him, I think either last year or 2 seasons ago. I am just no longer with him anymore. I think his time has gone already from the past. I don't see him breaking out. And you know what? He could. Adam Thielen's getting up there in age, and Irv Smith's still right around that great age for a tight end to break out. I don't think I'm drafting Irv Smith at all. Irv Smith is going pretty well right now in tight end 14, but I'd rather have Mike Gesicki at tight end 13 versus tight end 14 and Irv Smith. I actually would probably take tight end 16, Noah Fant, in my opinion, because you're going to need someone to throw the ball to. And there's a lot of mouths over there. And you know what? If they find tight end safety blanket, bam, Drew Lock, Geno Smith, that's the guy. I like them over Irv Smith. And you know what? Irv Smith just had surgery on his thumb because he suffered a thumb injury in Vikings training camp. And it's very much possible.
Week 1, though.
Yeah, exactly. And he should be ready for week 1, but does that set him back a little bit on catching? Does that thumb hurt him when he tries to catch a ball? It's a lot of questions and variables that I'm willing to stay out of versus anyone that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people are going to really, fight me over or fight anybody over Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's a shot in the dark and see what happens. But there's potential there. We've seen it. We've seen his ability in the past. It's just whether, whatever the year has done to him last year, hopefully he retains all of that ability and he can show it this season.
Exactly. And, to be honest, the tight ends, you really don't know. I mean, every year it's just tight end after tight end. Who it will be that tight end? We just don't know. We know our basics. Travis Kelce, usually 1 or 2. Mark Andrews, he's up there. Kyle Pitts, he's going up there. After that, it's kind of a dart throw because you know what? George Kittle, he's going so high and he's had injuries in the past and QB situation, we don't know. A lot of playmakers there, we don't know. Darren Waller, you failed a little bit last season, but you could very well still be there. But here's the thing. You got more pass catchers there. Dalton Schultz, love Dalton Schultz. People are finally starting to see that his talent is there. And he's going in tight end 6. Will he stay around there? I don't know. TJ Hawkinson, I think his value, I think he's great tight end, but fantasy, we don't know yet with the QB situation. Goater out the door, throw him in the dumpster. No, just kidding. I'm not a big Goater fan. I think they're going to be looking for a new tight end pretty soon. Zach Ertz, Dawson Knox, and you got Cole Kmet. Those are roughly the top 11, and they're all just dart throws.
Yeah, I mean, Ertz, Knox, Kmet, I don't mind them last three when you're taking your tight end later on. They're not bad picks, so yeah.
Exactly. And I'll quickly go through my two, and my great guy of Hall of Fame for tight ends breakouts is Zach Ertz. And I mean, if you asked me this 2 years ago, I'm all out on Zach Ertz. I'm not a Zach Ertz believer. I don't think I'm there, but Zach Ertz this year has everything going his way, just like last season. He got a different team, and that was the key to success. We saw him have success in Philadelphia, but it kind of started to fall off. He needed somewhere new. He found Arizona, and Arizona's treating him right in the desert. And he finished last season as a tight end 5, and this season he's being drafted as a tight end 9, which, in my opinion, I'm taking Zach Ertz over Dallas Goedert. I'm taking Zach Ertz over TJ Hawkinson. I'm taking Zach Ertz over George Kittle because I'm not a George Kittle believer. Never drafted George Kittle. Will never draft George Kittle. You just don't know. He's a great tight end, but his injuries have kind of caught up to him. We don't know. But I'm taking them over. I'm taking Zach Ertz over any of those guys. Darren Waller, questionable, and Dalton Schultz, questionable. And then obviously we know the top 3, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts. But those are that's my guy for Zach Ertz. And you look at the team, they're pass catchers. D-Hop, he's suspended for 6 weeks. Marquise Brown, guess what? He was arrested the other day, but he's back practicing with the team. I think it was the day after he was back practicing with the team. Does any suspension come from it? Probably not. By now, it would have been more news that came out that he would get suspended, possibly maybe 1 or 2 games. I'm not too concerned on Marquise Brown versus D-Hop. And the other wide receivers, AJ Green, Rondell Moore. Rondell Moore could shine. We don't know. But I think they're going to go with Zach Ertz being that main guy there for the 6 weeks as of right now. Maybe Marquise Brown will obviously be that top wide receiver there. But that's my guy.
I like Zach Ertz. I think we had this conversation, in previous pods earlier this year, but I think he can get off to a great start with the 6 games that D-Hop is out, and then it's going to be a matter of you're going to have your up and down weeks after that, but he might have got you a lot of points in them 6 weeks that he's going to help you make playoffs. So I'm not as far as I like George Kittle because I especially like where he's going in drafts. He's dropping like 5th, 6th round. Mm-hmm. If he falls somewhere in that range and I'm there, and he comes to me, I think I'll hit the go get him button. But in terms of Ertz, definitely the guys like Goddard, you said there. I'd be definitely taking Ertz over. I'll be higher on Ertz than other people for sure. Probably in the same range as you. So I think he's going to be great for the first 6 weeks. I still think he'll be good for the rest of the season because he has Kyler Murray as the quarterback. You're just going to get. He might just be more touchdown dependent after the weeks.
Exactly. And my quick honorable mention is Hunter Henry. I mean, I'm not a big Hunter Henry guy, but Hunter Henry, he can break out this season. We saw it last season. He finished tight end 10, and he's been that tight end dependent guy for Mac Jones, or red zone target for Mac Jones, And he finished last season with 9 touchdowns, and 6 of them came in a span of 7 weeks. And there's a chance for him to continue to his 9 touchdown pace, maybe even a little bit more. Maybe he might even get more targets. We don't know that yet. We will see that next season. And I think being drafted right now as a tight end 17, I'm willing to take a shot on him, and I'm willing to easily have him as my tight end 1 because tight ends are just so hard. And if you don't get the top 3, top 4, you might as well just start plugging and playing and see whether or not he might get a touchdown.
Yeah, tight end 17 seems a bit too too low there, I suppose. But it's what you said there. It's the 9 touchdowns. He needs to probably get the 9 touchdowns again and add some more targets to his game. So Mac Jones can feed him the ball to, kind of reach that level. We've seen it with Hunter Henry in the past. It was kind of, he was great, got a few injuries that kind of, put him down a bit. But he was really good on some stretch weeks last year, but it was all about the touchdowns. He will need to still be all about the touchdowns because I'm guessing the Patriots are going to be all run heavy again, and then throw it when they need to, when they come close to the line. But you've also got Devontae Parker in there who has shown that he's a talented wide receiver. But in terms of Hunter Henry, yeah, I don't mind the pick, especially low down. You can probably take him with your last pick, whatever. Take a chance on him if you're going to wait, or take another tight end, your second tight end. But you will have to get somewhere near them 9 touchdowns to be relevant, I think, for your team, and then add some more targets onto it.
Exactly, I'm intrigued on Hunter Henry, and his value is so low that I'm willing to take that shot and take that chance. I'm willing to draft him ahead of 2 or 3 guys. I mean, you look at Irv Smith. I'm willing to take him over Irv Smith. Alberto, I'm willing to take him over Alberto. Noah Fant, I'm still iffy on Fant. I still think there's potential.
I take Fant because if Drew Lock starts, like you said,
they played together.
He'll definitely be his safety blanket. So
exactly,
we're taking ahead.
Irv Smith, yeah, I already mentioned Pat Freiermuth. I love the Muth, but man, the QB situation, I just don't know.
I think that's everybody's problem. Everybody knows Pat Freiermuth is super talented, but it's the QB situation. Are they actually going to get the ball to him?
Exactly. But yeah, so our tight ends, Cole Kmet, Irv Smith, Hunter Henry, and Zach Ertz. And, that's it. That's going to do it for this week's episode for 2022 Breakout Players for this season. Make sure to use code SportsTimeHQ on Underdog Fantasy, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. And if you're going to the Fantasy Football Expos convention in Canton, Ohio this weekend, August 12th to August 14th, be sure to stop at the booth at SportsTime HQ booth. And we'll be there, and we can talk. If you want to write for us, come on a show, do anything you want. We're open to the idea. So make sure to come out, enjoy it, especially if you're in the area. And if you are in the area and you haven't bought a ticket, you can use Give Pass in your shopping cart, and they will take off $20 for either general admission, or if you're buying a higher package, they'll take $20 off your price that you pay. So basically, you get a free general admission ticket for a Sunday if you wanted to go on Sunday. But that's going to do it for today's episode here for the Breakouts. Once again, my name is Fernando. I am your host of Sports Time HQ. I was joined today by my great co-host, Keith. You can follow him all over social media at SwampDonkey_90. And make sure to follow him and his fiance all over Instagram at HuddlesUp_NFL. And once again, make sure to check us out next week, August 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be talking not breakouts, but busts. So busts of 2022. Be sure on the lookout, 8 p.m. Eastern on August 17th.